Ene'io Botanical Garden is the only one of its kind in the Kingdom of Tonga in the South Pacific. The beautiful 22 acres are full of the largest and most varied collection of plants in that island group. Privately owned and the brainchild of the brilliant Haniteli Fa'anunu, Ene'io has been in development since 1972. Haniteli serves as our tour guide to the over 100 plant families and 500 plant species.
You know, the Tongans and Polynesians, most of us were not interested in ornamental palms. It's only a recent thing, with the tourism and all, and love of flowers and things, and most probably had the biggest collection of palms and different kinds. In Queensland, they say for landscaping. It is very beautiful, especially the young leaves when in open sun. But in here, it's in the shade. That is a fishtail palm. You know, look at the leaf, it's like a tail of a fish. And that's a water hole here, freshwater hole. The name Ene'io is the name of the water hole. And Ene means to tickle. Io is yes. It tells a story of a legend, you know, that in Tonga in those olden days, every district have their ghosts or kiba. And then we have ours, and then there's a beautiful lady in the airport area. There was a drought in Tonga, and then she decided to go Samoa and get water from there. Because the Tongans went back to Samoa, colonized Samoa for 400 years. So they know their water. There's water, they're running rivers. So she went there, had a mouthful of water, came back through here, and our keeper god was awake and stopped her here. She brought the water in her mouth, full. So our keeper god said to her, who dares to come here and cross my territory? She couldn't speak, but grunting and pointing to her mouth. Our keeper god said, well, if you're not talking to me, I'm going to tickle you to see if you want to talk to me. So he tickled her and she couldn't resist the ticklish, because Ene is tickle. And she couldn't help it and open her mouth and laugh and cry out, no, no. And that's created the water hole. That's the story. And this is my property. My land, 8 acres, I got it when I was 8 years old. And the name of my property is Ene'io because the water hole, the beach is Ene'io. Then our company is named Ene'io Enterprises. And of course, I think by now you should know mangoes. You see them everywhere in Tonga. Big trees in the villages. Right now, the mangoes are flowering. We'll be having lots of mangoes. We make a lot of chutney, mango pickles, mango juice, dried mangoes. There are 8 different varieties, and each one is prepared differently, and they have different colors. And this is a very important plant for the Tongan women, because the women, if you don't have mats, you are not a woman in the household. Mats and tapa cloth, because they are very important for our culture in weddings and birthdays and burials and things like that. When I was 8, my father brought me here. And I said to my father, if he has his own land, I told my father, please don't cut down, don't farm my property. Yeah, and he did, he didn't farm. So what you see here, this is what a local forest was from 1954 up to now. It is, you know, it takes so long to grow. See, all this is, they're still babies. But you know, when the European Tonga was discovered in 1616 by Dutch, Soeten and Lemire, And then Tasman came through, Captain Cook. And then the British and the English came. They brought sawmills. When I was growing up, there were 5 sawmills in Vava'u. They mill all our native species for local housing, not for export. And now there are no sawmills in Vava'u because there are no forests to mill. But this is what I have done. I fence, all the 22 acres, I fence it. And so we have now lots of undergrowth. In many, Mount Talau, it's up there. Yeah. There are no fences and the pigs are being up to the very top. There's no undergrowth. But here now new species keep coming up and I introduce some. This one here belongs to the ebony family. The keyboards, a black keyboard in the piano. That's that family, ebony. This one here is very popular in Papua New Guinea, Solomons, Vanuatu for carving the masks. Lot of masks. And it's endangered already in those countries. It's going to disappear. Our people know the name of this tree, it's kanume. The kids eat the small nuts when they are young. But I never tell them that use this for carving. Because my remaining trees will disappear. The garden is totally organic. I don't use any pesticides or fertilizers. I use the leaves and things. And the way the planting the garden is very unusual. It's a kind of a freestyle botanical garden. What you see in most gardens are organized into blocks and very well manicured. Here I've done it in the Tongan way. Tongan way of farming, you plant where you feel like planting. So this is a very kind of disorganized way, but the planting in rows and in blocks, English or European. The whole concept in my planting, anywhere you stop, there will be over 60 different cultivars. So I collect all kinds. I have collected all these years and transplanted over 35,000 trees into here. I have a collection now of 585 plant cultivars. See this one? That's a fruit tree, it's a bean, that's from Tahiti. That's an ice cream tree, avocado. That's an acerola, green sapotes, cherimoya. So they're growing like this. And it'll take many years before they grow up and start fruiting. So I plant vanilla in between. This is how vanilla is grown. It grows on a support tree. And vanilla is the only orchid with fruits edible. It's an orchid, it needs to climb up on a support tree. When it flowers, you have to hand pollinate every flower. And it will hang there and mature after 10 months. Then we dry and cure it for 3 to 4 months. Then we export the beans. And used for making ice cream and things like that. And then this is the pineapple. This is the table pineapple, not the canning one. This is what we like. And every plant has got one fruit. These are the rhizomes. And when it grows like this, it's really a strong smell. Real pungent, and there's no fertilizer in it, but growing naturally. Yeah, that is the true ginger for eating. There are species that I don't have in the garden, and there are species that I got to propagate for distribution. And these are Anthuriums. There are 20 different colors. Purple one is new, I have never seen it before. But they're coming from Holland and tissue culture. And one of the things we're trying to do is to propagate, because they don't readily produce shoots. We have to cut it back, see? So to increase, try to multiply. Because they were afraid not to produce many. And this is
Ene'io is an amazing garden, but more than anything, it is testament to Haniteli's desire to create something truly extraordinary. It is paradise within paradise, and long may it survive.
But I go to Sunday school every Sunday, and I like the stories they tell of the Bible. And the best one I liked was the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. And I thought that the garden was somewhere up in the heavens. So I said to myself, I am going to make my land the paradise here on earth. Yeah? That was my childhood dream. And I'm still with that dream. I think in many ways I have accomplished that.